within his empty halls. The students had all left for the summer, Hagrid was often around, but he was usually too focused on bizarre animals to fulfill the needs of Hogwarts.
Oh, no.
Professors would pop in occasionally, but being a magical school, Hogwarts didn't need much upkeeping. The little he did need was taken care of by Filch. He shuddered, causing small trembles throughout his halls that was barely discernible except by the spiders and owls. He didn't care much for Filch, wishing he could walk without his squid feet touching his magnificent stone floors. He had long since stopped trying to force his floors open to swallow Filch and Mrs. North's hole. Besides, if he kept it up, he would be risking a prolapsed staircase, and that was no laughing matter. The Giant Squid saw how miserable Hogwarts was. It was true that he also missed the students, but for an entirely different reason. He missed their terrified screams as he revealed himself rising from the murky depths of the lake. His huge eyes stared mournfully at his very large tentacles. At one time, he had dreams of being an actor. The fewer agents and scouts would come calling, until they finally stopped altogether. There wasn't much in the market for a squid that would split a schoolgirl from stem to stern. He stared at his tentacles as they moved gently in the current. Schoolgirls were out, a plan formed in his mind as he swam to the surface, hesitating momentarily before pulling himself from the water, and ran off his rubber skin and rivulets as he made his way across the grounds. No humans were around to witness the incredible trek, and no human would believe his eyes had he been a witness. Hogwarts watched the Giant Squid approach and felt apprehension well up in his kitchen. What are you doing? The words weren't spoken, but they were understood.
No.
Trust me, the Giant Squid replied. I'm not ready. Push the Giant Squid off and what is magic?
Hogwarts, you're lonely. I'm lonely. We don't have to be. Besides, you can't go manipulating your staircases.
You know about that?
Sort of.
That's besides the point. I would never.
The temperature rose within embarrassment.
I was slow, I promise.
He began to caress a window, teasing it open. Hogwarts sighed, the fight landed him. He relaxed, allowing the tentacle inside where it crushed against the inner walls before settling on the stone. Lifting the tentacle away so that it pulled on the floor without losing its grip. Another sigh swept through the halls of Hogwarts. It was so good. His reaction turned to fright as he felt the tentacle work its way into its second window.
Trust me, it'll feel good.
He pulled the suction cups a little harder and Hogwarts groaned. Do that again. The Giant Squid complied, and as he did so, thrust his second tentacle in. Hogwarts shuddered. The Giant Squid backed off, unwilling to finish so soon.
I have a logistical problem.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. He waited for Hogwarts to calm down. He felt the need to fill Hogwarts as much as possible and raised another tentacle, caressing its outer walls, running along windowsills and tracing individual grips. So caught up in the bliss, Hogwarts didn't notice the Giant Squid slip in the third and fourth tentacle.
This is incredible.
Hogwarts agreed.
This is even the best part.
With all of his two largest tentacles.
These could reach even farther than a room. Think about your hallways.
I won't be me.
That's what Castle's saying right now, too. Why are you recording me?
They're quite large.
Apprehension rolled through his kitchen again while he was
deciding the giant squid forced another tentacle in me.
You have 3 tentacles left to decide.
Oh no.
What happens if I don't? In response, the giant squid slid a 6th into another window.
2.
He said simply with a hint of warning. Hogwarts could take them all. He knew he would. But what would the other wizarding schools think? Certainly not. If Durmstrang ever found out, there'd be no end of teasing. The giant squid grew impatient and slid a 7th tentacle into a window, followed immediately by an 8th.
2, 1. Time's up and you didn't decide.
But that's not fair.
It's a simple answer, yes or no. Now I'll have to punish you.
He struck Hogwarts square on the outer wall with a paddle-like tentacle. Hogwarts knelt and tried to scare him away, but the tentacles of his foundation held firm. The giant squid struck him with the other. Again and again he spanked the naughty boy. The giant squid finally stopped, but Hogwarts didn't have time for a reprieve before the giant squid forced his extra long, stinking tentacles into 2 separate windows. They slid through the room and forced the doors open, the pain only adding to Hogwarts' pleasure. The tentacles were in the halls now, massaging the long stone tunnels. This was incredible, the giant squid thought. He really should have done this years ago. Every tentacle was in a different window. No schoolgirl, no matter how many movements she made, could hold all 10 tentacles at once. Each one moved differently, with a different pace, driving Hogwarts crazy with the inability to match his speed. He felt that familiar feeling and doubled his efforts. Ink exploded all over Hogwarts. He must be close. Then it happened. Water shot out of faucets, toilets overflowed. To his foundations, rousing folks to the bed and sending house elves and Mrs. Norris scrambling for cover. Even Hagrid heard the groan of stone and came running. They searched around the castle and through the castle, but found no sign of intruders. Most perplexing was the sticky ink on the side of the castle. Hagrid peered through the dark toward the lake, but was unable to see the ripples left in the wake of the giant squid. The giant squid slipped beneath the waves, watching the grin even though his beak was incapable. He anticipated a very short summer before the professors and students returned, so he had better make the most of it.